Hey guys, this is illusionist Jason Bishop. I am back with another piece of magic. In this case, this piece by David Copperfield was inspired by probably the most common large-scale illusion in magic. You're thinking it's sawing a woman in half, but it is not by a long shot. It's called metamorphosis. It's also known as the sub-trunk. Most non-magicians really wouldn't know it by those names. They'd probably call it, the trick with the box, or, the one where you guys switch places. And illusionists actually immediately know which trick they're talking about for the most part when people say that. I would seriously estimate that this is the most common large-scale illusion in magic today. I cannot think of any other illusion that even comes close right now or is a close second. Probably back in the 70s, maybe zigzag was more common, but I'm honestly not even sure about that. A few reasons that meta is so popular is first, it's a jaw dropper. Done well, it's as strong as almost any other large-scale illusion. Two, it's also incredibly affordable as far as illusions go, and you can actually even make your own if you've got some pretty decent carpentry skills. Three, it's surroundable, and that's a big one. It can be done in the round, it can be done in difficult environments, and it has almost no staging requirements to pull off, frankly. Illusions that can be performed in the round and still be strong for most of the audience are pretty far and few between. Number four, it's portable. If you break it down, it can fit into a compact car usually, and if you leave it fully assembled, you can still put it into something like a crossover, a small van. It can fit into a variety of vehicles pretty easily without requiring a trailer or anything that large at all. And bonus, left assembled, you can actually pack a lot of things inside of it, effectively making it into a case for the rest of your props. And David Copperfield basically said, let me do the core of this trick, but get rid of all those other upsides. And of course, he was 100% right as usual. Before we get into this, I've been a professional illusionist since Disney Plus just meant your parents would let you bring a friend with you on vacation. I've performed for colleges and theaters across the United States, been featured on national and international television. Magic has taken me to 49 of the 50 states, and I've had 2 successful runs in New York City. And now I'm between shows, rehearsal, traveling, working on new magic, and figuring out what's still open late after a show to get food. I pull up videos like this and I give you some thoughts on them as a professional illusionist. We'll talk about this piece after we watch the video, but for now let's get to it. David Copperfield's Metamorphosis of Metamorphosis, the aptly titled Cocoon. He always picks like really good music.
I can't see you, mama, but I can't hardly wait. And to touch and to feel you, mama, oh, I just can't keep away. So say you'll help me, mama, 'cause it's
that is a dynamic, phenomenal illusion. I couldn't find the exact quote, but I feel like I remember David Copperfield basically saying about the creation of this piece that metamorphosis can be a great trick, but first you got to get rid of that box. And what he and his team created is a really, really strong effect that increases the strength as well as the production value of the illusion in general, while also creating yet another signature piece for David Copperfield. Illusionists of various skill levels can do a traditional metamorphosis, but only a large-scale professional illusionist could seriously think about doing something to that level. It's a pretty small handful of magicians that could even pull something like that off. A lot of young magicians fantasize about doing something like that when they're starting out. I did for sure, but you can't execute something like that on a small scale. That large table that he's standing on, that has a huge turntable base that allows it to rotate. That creates the ability to see it from all angles while only sitting, at the front. And it allows it to move on its center point without using assistance to do it, frankly. And it also looks a little bit more mysterious that way because you can't visibly see anybody turning it. So it looks really just cool, frankly, that way. So the large cocoon that rises up into the air, that's made in part from a bed frame actually, and is able to raise and lower on a batten, which basically means this illusion requires a fly system or some serious alternative to be able to pull off. And if you notice near the end of the routine, that piece in the air also moves laterally, first stage left to right and then right to left, which means it has an entire other movement system capable of safely taking the weight of the rig as well as the woman who's on it and moving them side to side. So there's a lot to this. And David also uses lights upstage in a bunch of places to both create a cool mood, but also to create depth for the illusion, as well as to show that there's nothing underneath or behind the table. And sure, any of those elements could be skipped, but then it wouldn't be a performance piece of this scale. And that's the point in part, to take a good core illusion and then make it into an overwhelming piece, both physically and hopefully even emotionally. And the entire performance and staging just oozes quality and an eye for detail. And one example, for instance, is how David handles the cloth when he does the switch, So the Pendragons are widely credited as the greatest performers of metamorphosis in its traditional form. And I've broken down their performance previously, link up here, right over there. So, well, anyway, the way David handles that cloth is a handling called the hourglass, and it's credited to Jonathan Pendragon, who explored tons of ways of handling and throwing a cloth during metamorphosis. And this is the main way Jonathan settled on as a both visually pleasing and magically effective way to handle the cloth. So David asked Jonathan to teach it to him, and it's a very strong, smooth handling. It's a visually stunning, straightforward piece of magic, which I really like. I like that kind of magic. It's clear. There aren't a bunch of elements included that make it confusing at all. He proves everything up front by showing there's, nothing underneath or on top of the table. And unlike the traditional metamorphosis, he even creates a good distance between the box and the point of magic. There's at least 6 feet roughly from what I could frankly see there. Plus the cocoon piece is actually suspended at a different height than the actual tabletop, so that's another dimension right there. And if you're wondering, by the way, David didn't just do this for television, he actually did this live on tour. He toured the country with this particular illusion. He also did it on other TV shows like The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, which is tough because the studio seems pretty tight for something this big, and you can find that clip on YouTube actually. And if you'd like to learn more about David Copperfield or the Pendragons, I have links below to David's latest book and the Pendragons instructional illusion DVDs and videos, which there aren't many videos about illusions and illusion performance out there. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out those videos from the Pendragons. And these are affiliate links, so if you use them, they do help the channel, and of course we absolutely appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please destroy the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when new videos are released, and we'll see you in the next one.